You're looking at the Titanium Mig 140. You can buy these at Harbor Freight. They are reasonably priced and they're actually a good bang for the buck. If you do a little digging around online, people love these once they buy them. They're very dependable, and the 140 is big enough that you can still weld some relatively thick steel, and of course the advantage of a MIG is you can dial it all the way back down and weld some thin stuff too. Now this will do MIG with gas obviously, and it'll also do flux cord, which I think most MIGs that are gas will also do flux cord. Anyhow, let's do a quick unboxing, find out what's in this box, and then later down the road we'll test this thing out and we'll probably do another video and see how well it works. Just like any other packaging, we open the box and we have our manuals and documentation on top. And we also, it looks like we have some wire, so they're going to give us probably some flux core. So let's see here. Yep, that is flux core, so you don't need your gas with this. And my guess, this is probably solid core, which is what you would need your gas with. Yep, solid core. So at least they give you a little bit of a starter kit. So right off the bat, even if you didn't have gas, you would be able to do a little MIG welding with this and test it out, at least with the flux core. There's some, it looks like the adapters for the different size MIG wires. And then there's some other doodads in here, maybe a handle of some sort and some tips. Looks like we have a screw-majig thingy. That's probably what you screw the spools onto with, the cap at least onto the end, I'm guessing. And it looks like we have some gauges, which is awesome. So you don't have to buy gauges if you buy this welder. Underneath the styrofoam, we have the welder itself. And we have a box over here. Let's take a look inside the box. It says ground cables and gas hose. And it's pretty nice actually. The ground cable, actually let's see here. Oh, the hose is braided, so it has like a braided covering over the top to kind of protect it. That's kind of nice. That's for the gas hose. And then the ground cable is a standard rubber coated ground cable, just like what you would see with any other MIG. And then inside the box is the MIG itself. I don't see any other toys or trinkets around it. Now right off the bat, I'm going to tell you this feels really nice. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels relatively heavy. It is an inverter MIG, so you're not going to find giant coils inside, which make them extremely heavy. But being an inverter MIG, it still has some weight to it. It's pretty hefty and it feels really nice. On the front, you can see we have a couple of digital gauges. We have the amps and we have the volts, and our dials have this nice, wonderful green caps on them, or green arrows, so you can see and read them pretty easy from a distance. And we have your standard DIN plugs. Now on the back side, it's pretty simple. We just have an on-off button, we have the gas input, and we have our power cord, which is just a standard 120 plug. Under the hood, we can see that this is where they have packaged the torch tip, and we'll take a look at it in a second. But I also want to point out that they did put a chart inside the cover, and that's actually pretty nice, especially if you're new to MIG welding and you just need a little bit of extra information. Then you can get a rough idea of where things should be set, at least with this chart. And we'll pull this stuff out here, which again is the torch tip, or I guess wand, whatever you want to call it. And everything in here looks pretty standard to what I would expect out of a MIG. Yeah, everything's pretty sturdy, well marked, nothing feels cheap. Everything seems well built. Yeah, it looks okay. It looks like a nice welder. Now it looks like the stinger is pretty well built. It looks like it has a stainless cup on it, and the tip is your standard copper replacements. It feels nice. It feels like almost feels like a Lincoln type plastic. I'm not really a plastic expert, but nothing about this feels cheap. On the other end, our connecting plug for the controls is actually a metal end. It's really nice. Nothing here feels cheap either. And then your standard style connections here. Again, everything just feels solid and well built. Something to make note of up here hidden is a little switch, and when you're in here changing out your wire, there is a spool gun switch option. Of course, your MIG and flux, so you want to leave this down if you're using the standard equipment that came with it. So there you have it, a quick and dirty unboxing of the Titanium Mig 140. Hopefully in the future we'll see this in action and we'll test it out and we'll see how well it works. If you like these types of videos, please take a look at some of my other stuff. At the very least, you might be entertained, and don't forget to like and subscribe.